Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. Now, there are many new and exciting features coming with 3.0, but one feature which has got me really thinking is naturally occurring and player-driven Planetside PvP missions, or battles. What I mean by this is the potential for real players to engage in FPS shootouts on the new moons coming to 3.0. Now, there's going to be many facets to how this type of gameplay can present itself, along with plenty of new mechanics to really bring this form of gameplay to life. The first possibility for ground FPS fights are, I would say, accidentally coming across other players. Now, if you're exploring the moons, then there is a chance, quite a slim chance in all honesty, because the moons are so big, that you will stumble upon other players doing the same. At first, I would expect there to be plenty of PvP, with the likelihood of there being very little consequences for players who shoot on sight, so always expect them to fire, but don't get me wrong, there will be many players who will just let bygones be bygones and not fire instantly, but be on your guard. Without the ability to directly communicate, there could be some misunderstandings. But most of these situations will be a case of spotting each other quite early on, maybe noticing ships parked outside outposts. That'll be a clear indication that the people are there, or your scanners maybe spotting ships in the vicinity will give them away pretty quickly. If you do notice people, what I expect I will do, if you notice a lot of people at an outpost, consider flying away and then approaching on foot to do a little reconnaissance first. Maybe even set up an ambush if you want to take their loot, or just be cool and offer assistance if you think that they're going to be friendly. But something that I do plan on doing in 3.0 for videos as well as live on my streams, which is to arrange pre-organised FPS battles. So for example, fighting over a derelict ship, or maybe a settlement of outposts, or even just a location with interesting landscape will provide an incredible opportunity to see just how cool it can be and how well it will play, as well as get some practice in for the orgs. Pitting two teams of players either side of maybe a derelict caterpillar will lend its hand to some really engaging and exciting FPS action. Nothing like what we currently see in Star Marine or even the Persistent universe now. It will include long-range engagements using the Scourge railgun and eventually culminating in, I would say, close-quarter battles throughout the derelict. Another scenario could be to have one team defending a box of cargo within a settlement of a bunch of outposts, while the other team attacks, and the attackers and defenders can have maybe a pre-arranged amount of time to get set up, do some reconnaissance, and then let the action just flow, trying, whatever tactics they want to try out. One other option for spicing things up is to include ships or ground vehicles, or even both, maybe having a cutlass to either act as a dropship or a gunship providing close air support will change it up, or even using an Ursa to transport players closer to the battle, or a Dragonfly and Nox to help with strafing runs. Playing around with all these different ships that we have available will be great fun and just spice up the whole battle. What I would like to see though, but I'm unsure if it's going to be possible initially, is to have long drawn out land battles. Now, if there's a way for team players to fight over a long period of time, throughout the sort of day-night cycle of the moon, it could be fun to see these large-scale battles. Now, of course, the player cap could hinder this, maybe something we have to do later on, but having someone maybe man a ship like a Cutlass or a Freelancer to ferry players from their spawn location to the pre-arranged bases of each team to continue the fight would be a lot of fun. But as I say, whether that's going to be possible in 3.0, we shall have to just hope and cross our fingers. But other factors that could play into this whole battle could be the moon atmosphere and weather. Now, these will affect the action in varying ways, in both atmosphere, space and on ground. And it will probably change the battle quite naturally. So if a sandstorm was to just randomly roll in, visibility would almost drop to zero, or require players to take shelter and wait it out. Rain, wind, other storm types will affect Planetside tactics and evolve the battle in a very unique way. Also mentioned towards that each moon will have its own atmosphere and gravity, so this will have an effect on how players' stamina will drain and the drag on the ships while flying through the actual atmosphere. Time of day will also affect how you approach the challenge. Having battles both in pre-arranged and randomly occurring at different times of day will just feel incredible and force new methods. We've all seen how beautiful the lighting will be Planetside, and I for one will most likely take a small break from flinging bullets at each other to take in the sunsets. Newly revamped weapons to play with. We've got the latest P8, the Bearing P8 and the Scourge railgun. That should provide some new approaches and engaging at ranges. Rather than the constantly close-up FPS that it currently is, it will make the game feel completely different. Also with 3.0, new animations for players will be included, which will really slow down how the players move, so you'll have transitions between movements and poses, making the player think more about their movements rather than just running around. One of the new animations which we saw a while back and I'm unsure if it's going to be included with 3.0, I'm not sure if it will be, but is the drag mechanic. And this is the ability to drag a downed player and pull them to safety. Now, it does say in the production schedule that FPS edition of Downed is not in till 3.2, so I'm going to say no on that one. But as mentioned before, stamina is making its way into 3.0, and if you are running around constantly, then you will tire quickly, which will affect your ability to move, your ability to aim, and your ability to focus, rendering you practically useless. So working together to push carefully should force more slow-paced teamwork play, rather than sprinting off on your own and getting killed. Something we can try as well is varying the ship types used in each scenario, which I think will be fun, and being able to see what ships suit what role will give players a great insight to the bigger picture of the game. Trying out ships as dropships or vehicles as APCs, trying others for use as close air support or even a recon ship. This will not only give more scope for new types of gameplay, but offer roles to players who are maybe not interested or any good at FPS, giving them a chance to join in. Then it comes the challenge of repelling and taking out the incoming ships. The use of the Scourge railgun will obviously play a big role in this, but maybe having a fighter or two ready for action would be a good idea. And I can just imagine a defending team patrolling their outpost while a pilot is stood around just making tweaks to his gladius waiting for the call to action. But on another note, you could try including a one life rule, so if you die, then you are out of the match, which will in turn force very slow movements, tactics, pre-planning and teamwork most definitely. And I think that's something we'll have to play around with. As I say, this is something that I really am looking forward to and experimenting with. I will be doing loads of videos, trying out all these different battles, as well as streaming it. So be sure to hit subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on Twitch. I'll put the links below if you want to take part in this. I will be gathering many people, provided we can get them in the game, provided it runs smoothly, etc. But let me know what your thoughts are. What are you most excited for? What scenario do you want to try out? Don't forget we're giving away a Star Citizen starter package every month, courtesy of my wonderful patrons who donate money to me every month to help me do these videos and grow my channel. Hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I shall see you next time.